My name's Jeff Makarevich, and welcome to Wine and Dine with Jeff, where I'll make a healthy dinner from start to finish and pair it with wines from around the world. Let's fill up that glass.
Hi, I'm Jeff Makarevich, and welcome to Wine and Dine with Jeff. Today we're going all the way to Italy for this delicious Tuscan chicken cannellini bean stew. It is a one-pot wonder. It is amazing. You will definitely love it. And we're pairing it today with a California Fess Parker Big Easy. It's a blend. I'll tell you a little bit more about that a little later. Let's get started here. Here we have our pancetta. Really important, what we're wanting to do is render the fat out of the pancetta. So look, it is a cold pan. I'm touching. Cold, right? So we are just going to turn on the heat right now, and I'm turning it to a low to medium low. It all depends on your burner. What we're wanting to do is we're wanting to have that fat come out of the pancetta, and we'll remove the pancetta from the pan and we'll cook the chicken in it. It's going to be amazing. And if you don't know that much about pancetta and thinking pancetta, bacon, they are both pork and they're cut from pork belly from the same center. But the difference is bacon is smoked and pancetta is not smoked. You're getting more of the pure pork flavor, and it's total Italian cooking. So we'll let that render out. I'll bring you back in a few minutes to show you what it looks like. Now you can see we have all the fat rendered out of this pancetta. So let's push this aside, and we're going to keep all that fat in the pan because that is going to cook our delicious chicken and our vegetables and everything else we need. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking it out with a slotted spoon and putting it on a paper towel to let it dry. Okay. And that took, I don't know if I told you, that took around 15 minutes to do. But it all depends on what the temperature that you have on your burner going. So let me grab the chicken here and let's get them some salt and pepper on them and get them into the pan. Now that we have our pancetta out, and it smells awesome in here, you want to salt and pepper the chicken, but this is a very important tip. Watch your salt right now, because pancetta to me, I could be wrong, it seems a lot more saltier when I put it in dishes than bacon. So it is pretty salty. So we have our oil going right here, hot oil, and leave all those brown bits in the pan because that is giving all that extra flavor. So let's get our chicken breasts right on in. And you know what I say, put your chicken breasts in and you don't touch them after they're in the pan. Okay, let's nestle our other one right over here because you want to get a very nice golden sear on them. We'll let that go for about 4 minutes on each side. We're not going to worry about if it is cooked all the way through because we are going to be putting it in the oven. Now that we browned off our chicken, let's throw into the same pan and all the same oil, onion and garlic. Let me just turn my onions around here, let them get flavored up in all that pancetta oil still and the chicken drippings. So it's important to use the same pan here, and we're just gonna let this sweat out. I make a little layer of my onions, and then I'm able to put my garlic right on top of the onions because they're really not touching the bottom of the pan. And I'll stir that around in about a minute. There we go. And while that's going on, That's just going to go for about a minute or two until it gets nice and translucent. Let's talk about the Big Easy, which is a Fess Parker wine, and that is up in Los Olivos, and I had a chance to visit Fess Parker and tried the Big Easy and brought some home, obviously. Let me have a sip. Wow. This is a 2017. So you can see the bottle. It is a combination of Syrah and Grenache and a Petite Syrah. Now, usually that would be, especially Petite Syrah, would be really big, but since it's the blend, it's very harmonious, very easy drinking, not a big wine. I'm getting notes of like blackberry, black cherry, plum, with hints of vanilla and dark chocolate. Wow, this is delicious. I can drink this all day long, I'm telling you. Let's get back to here. Our onions have started to sweat out here. Now, what I'm going to add to the onions right now is a little bit of tomato paste. All the exact measurements are right down below in the description center, obviously, for you, which is a link right over to my website that has explanation of everything. And what we're going to do is we're just going to mix this in with our onions and garlic, and we're going to cook this tomato paste out for about a minute before we add the rest of our delicious ingredients here. So let's just cook that out and we'll be right back. Okay, our tomato paste and onions have all cooked out here. Now we're going to add in one of our stars to the show, and that is the cannellini beans. Now they are drained and rinsed and ready to go. Now to that, sun-dried tomatoes. It is not tomato season right now, and usually everything in Tuscany is always cooked with fresh ingredients, but when there's not fresh, they use their tomatoes and they have sun-dried them. So these were packed in oil. You could have them packed in oil or not. That is up to you, because they will rehydrate with the chicken stock here. Now, chicken stock is going in. At this point in time, you want to scrape the bottom of the pan, because remember, it has all those flavors, all the way from the pancetta to the chicken and everything else. Now, what goes great, always with cannellini beans and in Italy, is what they call their miracle herb. And their miracle herb is sage. Right here, I have about 8 leaves that I'm just going to slice up. Let me grab my knife off my board here, and we're just going to take this and we're going to do some nice slices. Sage, so aromatic. It goes so perfect with these cannellini beans. It really does. It's just a wonderful herb that just goes phenomenal in here. So, and that is all the herbs. So we're not putting Italian seasoning, anything else. So that is going to be flavoring this up tremendously. So now what are we putting back in? Our pancetta. We're not letting that go to waste, right? We got to put that pancetta back in there. And that's why I'm not adding any salt right now, because this pancetta is very salty. You will see. You could always taste it at the end. And if you think you need a little more salt in here, go for it. And then our chicken breasts. We're going to nestle those right in here. And you know what I always say? We don't want to forget about the most important thing. And what is that? Liquid gold here. Don't forget, that book's coming out soon. And I'm calling it liquid gold. Thank you. Thank you to a subscriber, by the way, and a friend who came up with that name. So that is going in. Now, when that comes out, we're going to just hit it with some, where is my, here they are. I was like, I can't grab these. I have an oven going on right now at 375 degrees. Now, I like to cook this until the chicken just falls apart. Literally, you really only have to cook it for a little. You could cook it right on the stove here in another 10 minutes and the chicken would be cooked through. But I like it when the chicken just falls apart delicious. So this is going to go in. I'm going to put it in for 50 minutes at 375 degrees, and that chicken will just fall off, just into pieces. You'll love it. And when it comes back out, I'm going to hit it with some fresh kale. That's up to you or not. I love some fresh greens in there, so I'm going to add some fresh kale. Oh yes, I wish you could smell how good this smells in here. Oh my goodness. Are you ready for this? Oh. Now, you don't need to do this step of adding the kale if you don't want to. If you're not in the mood for kale, you could do spinach if you want to add some greens. I'm just going to make a little bit of room here, putting the chicken right back in, but I'm just going to make a little bit of room so I can throw in that kale. And I'm just going to wilt it around, put some kale in there, and then just mix that around in there. Just put the lid back on, and this will only take about probably 3 minutes at most. So I'm going to turn the burner on here of super low. It's already really hot in here. So the kale is just going to wilt down in there right now. Perfect. And now I'm going to add that chicken back in there. Oh yes, this chicken is like fall apart delicious. That's why I love to put it in the oven like that. It is amazing, completely amazing. And let's not forget those sun-dried tomatoes. Get in there because you are going in my tummy later. Now let's get, well, that lid is hot. I'm going to put the lid back on here. And I'm just going to let this sit in here and simmer for no more than 2 or 3 minutes until that kale is wilted. And I'm going to plate it up. I can't wait to eat. Before I taste, I first would like to thank all my subscribers. And if you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my recipes. And don't forget to like, share, and ring that bell because I have a new recipe every Tuesday, but I can't wait any longer. I want to dig into this. I'm getting a spoon because I want all the sauce and all the good stuff that goes along with it. I already cut myself a piece of the meat off. So let's get a little bit of everything in here. Okay, here we go. Wow. That is so delicious. Who doesn't love a one-pot meal? Thank you for stopping by with Wine and Dine with Jeff. And we'll see you next week.